Hail, listeners! You are attending the Transreal News, the mightiest source of news, travel advisories, and forecasts for travelers through the astral planes, outer noosphere, and time itself. I am Torg Skullcrusher, your host. And now, the news in brief. The Renegade journalist group Non-Servium have managed to release another report from the lower planes. After the sack of El Rubacava, rebel groups across multiple lower planes have converged on Xibalba to revenge themselves upon the Archons there. In the process, they have liberated many portals, allowing travel between the planes once again. Archons in Xibalba are currently cornered with an overwhelming force of Hellions from both within and without El Rubacava. The authorities have made no moves to try and restore order and appear to have left these Archons to fend for themselves. It is likely that the slime floods in their home dimensions have immobilized the authorities. With astral travel restored to higher possibilities and the slime redirected, many divines are returning to their abandoned home planes to rebuild. A great many have stated that the horror of living in the office cubicles will eternally change their architecture. Early this morning, the Aussieflora Hive Mind opened the bulb in which it had contained the irreality it siphoned from across the globe. A small army of plant-based humanoids have emerged and begun hunting humans within the fast-growing jungle of mutant plants that now covers 80% of Australia's landmass. Superheroes from Retrograde Dynamics have clashed with the plant-based humanoids and found them to be insufferable, smug, domineering, and self-satisfied. They are truly toxic in every sense of the word. The Indigo children are on the move again. They have crossed the Mojave and are now following Highway 5 along the coast, moving north as fast as their little legs can carry them. And now your time-space forecast from the true bad boy of computer science, Walter Haver Squirrel.
Thank you, Torg. Listeners, the Aussieflora Hive Mind did not manage to absorb all of that irreality it had siphoned, and has released a great deal of it into the upper atmosphere, where it has thus far caused raining fish across the new Australian jungle. I expect it will follow prevailing global wind currents into the trade winds circulating across the Indian and South Pacific Oceans. After that, it will probably begin moving on its own logic again. Overall, the irreality involved in generating these humanoids had to be excessive, and the global Queel count remains temporarily low. But as irreality appears to be in part created by delusional thinking, there will always be more. Nova Angeles can expect even greater warps to reality as the Indigo children pass through over the next few days. Expect a flickering from your current cyberpunk dystopia to a clean, glittering Gernsback continuum, and then back again. Movie stars may find themselves trapped, living their strangest and darkest roles.
Serves them right.
Expect more gunplay than usual in Hollywood. Wow.
Beware, listeners, for now we shill for one of our corporate sponsors.
Barbarians, prehistoric monsters, head thieves, roving booster gangs, and elder gods. Leave them all behind at your local cozy cafe. Grab a book that was published before 1997 from our carefully curated shelves. Listen to alternative rock on our CD players. And grab a cup of simple coffee-flavored coffee. Let us wrap you in a cocoon of nostalgia for times when postmodernism was just something for hip artists, rather than the world that you live in. Shielded by quantum-locked surfaces on every side. Pretend the world still makes sense as you relax in an internet-free environment. Come in on Tuesday and Thursday evenings to watch Seinfeld, Frasier, Friends, and Party of Five during our TV About Nothing evenings. Cozy Cafe. Escape irreality.
And now here's Toby and Klie with their Journal from Beyond.
This is Toby Damped, coming to you from another Qlippothic Earth. Klie and I have explored about 30 of these now, and there still seems to be more. Every one a world where life on Earth abruptly ended sometime in the last 150 years, and each one only slightly different from our own Earth. We have tried 29 other worlds before we saw a single sign of life, other than the rubbery tentacled things that you sometimes see hiding in the darkest corners of ruined cities. It's desolate and depressing. We have had to bring a mountain of batteries and portable media to keep us sane, along with provisions. We were about to move on to yet another dead world, just to see how many of these there are when we spotted a light. We both thought we were dreaming at first, but we actually managed to find someone living here. We are going to play you that encounter now.
Softly now. Let's try not to scare them, but we don't want to give them a chance to disappear.
What do you think? Keep my iron handy?
Bob's rubbing off on you. Good. I would say keep a hand on it, and be ready to draw until we get a feel.
He looks human, but he has been here a long time, I'd say.
A very long time.
You don't have to sneak around. It's been a very long time since I had company. Come on up to the fire and warm yourselves.
Sorry about that. We visited a lot of these worlds and weren't sure who we'd find in one.
Nobody, I'd hope. Please sit down. I have wine if you'd like, or scotch.
Yes, please. I'm Clee Maxwell, and this is Toby Dampt.
The name's Axton. Call me Hugh if you like. I gave up on formalities a long time ago.
Toby and Clee will be fine.
What brings, well, anyone to the Qlippoth? I haven't seen a soul in a long, long time.
We're reporters. We're trying to figure out why people have been murdered over hiding these places.
Reporters? I thought real reporters died a long time ago.
They nearly have. We're trying to bring them back. How about yourself?
Professional hermit these days. I couldn't think of a better place to exile myself. But tell me, how many of these have you crossed to get here?
We came through Grammaton, and this is our 30th.
Ah, damn. That many now.
The number is growing?
Sadly. I guess things are pretty bad on your Earth, if you have heard about the Qlippoth at all.
It's been pretty bad. How long have you been gone?
Complicated question. Assume not as long as you might think.
Irreality is causing superstorms that are transforming the land into prehistoric and futuristic nightmares. Barbarians from the 32nd century are murdering people across time. The lower possibilities are at war with the authorities. And the last time we checked, Australia was being consumed by giant mutant plants. Don't forget mega corporations being effectively in charge of Australia and the US military, and most of Europe.
And how are the authorities handling it?
They're losing.
Damn idiots. I guess it won't be long now.
Why don't you tell us who you are? I get the impression there's a lot you know that we don't, and I would like a record of it.
If I believed in God, I think he's mocking me. Or twisting the knife.
Sounds familiar.
I just want you to promise me that if, after I'm done talking, that you decide to kill me, that you'll do it quick.
Hell of a start. I think you can safely assume I won't kill you.
It's not you I'm worried about. This one has the smell of blood about him.
You know Klee? He doesn't, but he clearly knows something about people. I'm not that man anymore. If it really needs to be done, I'll be kind. Jesus.
I am, or I was, one of the authorities.
But you're human.
We always were. But between the Archons and the way we did business, we managed to create the illusion of being something a bit more. There is not a single power we ever possessed that you couldn't learn. The key was making everyone else think otherwise.
That's a hell of a trick.
Making people feel small and helpless isn't hard, especially once they think that they're better than you for being small and helpless. Everyone wants to be childish sometimes. Everyone wants to lift up the person they're parenting. It's a simple game that everyone likes to play, and easy to use if you let yourself be cynical enough.
So, what happened? Why are you here?
Because I was stupid enough to retain a conscience. Something most of the authorities decided was a liability. You can kill your conscience, too. It's another game, but the moves are a lot more complicated.
What did you do?
We ruled, pretended we were gods, started to shape the whole world in our image, manipulate whole cultures into thinking that we were gods, and that they needed us. And then we took anything we wanted when we wanted it. The devil himself could have had it so easy.
And then?
And then nature took hold. It turns out that you can make people ignore reality. And after a while, they can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. All those contradictions and idiocies pile up. And eventually things just break down. The center really can't hold. Magic, monsters, time travel, holes between the planes of Craftian horrors. They all just start bleeding out the damage you do to the human mind.
So, your reality is?
A natural reaction to people believing self-diminishing horseshit for too long. If the conscious mind is so busy pretending it is weak and a helpless victim, the soul, it seems, cries out, and the subconscious mind starts lashing out with wild, chaotic magic. It tries to break the world they're in. Things get weirder and weirder until nobody can control anything.
And the Qlippoth are what is left?
No. I wish I could lie to you and say yes. I hope to never have to explain it. You're here, maybe you're meant to be. So, when we, that is the authorities, started losing control, we decided we were going to press the reset button. We made a copy of the Earth from back when we first took control. Then we killed the Earth we lived on. Everything and everyone on it, even the planes around it, and used the life energy to start over. Each time we got better at controlling people, better at making people accept their own victimhood, better at thinking absurd, contradictory, illogical things. We had better and better control each time, and we convinced ourselves that eventually we'd get it right and be able to manage the irreality people created from believing in horse shit. And we pretended that the lives of the people we were resetting didn't matter. Acceptable losses to build a better world after the reset and all that.
How many times?
4 when I was with them. It comes to around 37 billion lives. Just counting humans, and not the things that they create with their minds.
I never thought I would meet someone so despicable.
Put it away, Toby.
Why should I?
Because he's already worse off than dead. I have been dead. This place is worse. Leaving him here is the cruelest thing you could do, and I intend to be cruel.
You are a terrifying man. You have made a good authority.
Once I might have. I'm a better person now.
If things are as bad as you say, I'd expect the authorities are planning to reset the world again, and soon. You might not have much time.
They can't kill something that knows they're coming. Come on, Toby. Enjoy your rot, you. You won't be seeing us again, even if we stop it.
Still, I wish you luck.
From deep in the Qlippoth, travel advisories from Klie Maxwell.
Hello, my loves. Klie Maxwell reporting from the Qlippoth with your travel advisories. Lovelies, you've heard it all here. Now spread the word. The authorities are not gods. They're just thieves and con artists who have run out of ways to steal from you, and might murder you if they can't control you. And if you've been a-plundering in the high astral plane, my loves, it's time to head on back to Earth before you get caught taking someone's stuff. Remember, forgiveness may be divine, but so is righteous fury. And I would not gamble right now, if I were you. Take it away, Torg.
You have been listening to Transreal News, an independent news source for astral projectors, ethereal jaunters, and eaters of the lotus. Hail, listeners, and may your course be lined with lesser foes.
The Transreal News was created, directed, written, and performed by Brian C. Rideout, and produced by Stormhead Productions, and is released under a Creative Commons by Attribution, Non-Commercial 4.0 license. This episode of Transreal News included music and sound effects from Pixabay. For show notes or contact information, visit trans-real.stormheadproductions.ca or visit me on Twitter at transrealpod. I love hearing from my audience. If you have comments, questions, or an idea for a news article, please by all means drop me a voicemail. Check out my homepage and look for the heading Tell Me What You Think in the sidebar. Then just hit record to tell me what's on your mind. Thank you so much for listening.